nominated as Chapter of the Year. And he and Chicago CARP have been working on a DP workshop in May. And he asked the school, and the school gave him $1,700 so this DP workshop. Okay! Yeah! Some of the awesome things that can happen, right? So, who likes fundraising or has been really successful in it? Who here has been a part of the most successful fundraising DP year ever? Yeah. Right? So in terms of bringing back to God, right? That's what we're doing on campuses. We are creating a stand for God, right?
Hey, North Lake. Let's go, Dallas.
Also, we're going to come back to them.
Yeah.
Sorry, I know there's a lot of cool pictures. So many cool things happening.
Yeah.
Hey, Shabu!
And then Los Angeles, which has 6 chapters. Pasadena, Cypress, Cal State LA. Alright, I want to show you a really cool thing. I'm sorry I'm running through this. So they just finished this partnership event, CARP, ACLC, Family Fed. And right, so they had 300 people gather in Los Angeles. This lady is the president of their university at Cypress College. And she spoke, and she wants to support us. Let's give that a round of applause. I love that picture, right? Because she's standing right in front of your parents' picture. Oh my gosh! It is so exciting. And what's more exciting than being with your mother? I mean, am I right? So, I want to invite you all to join us this summer for the CARP Hyojung Trip 2018, June 25th to July 11th. So there's a lot of really great inspiring activities, but the biggest thing is that this is a time for all of the youth and college-age students to come together and to really create a movement for God and your parents, right? Going to the source, going to the center, right? Our movement, CARP, started in Japan and Korea, going back to understanding that heart, the heart of Hyojung, right? So I invite you to register, talk with me. You can go to carplife.org/HJ2018 or just talk to me over the weekend. Let's make your mother proud, right? Let's stand for true parents, right? On college campuses, right? Yeah. All right. So, thank you for listening. You guys want to hear some stories of actual CARP students right now? Yes. So if we can rise and welcome CARP area.
Just here to introduce Erica Dallin is trying to say what in our people. So last summer we launched the CARP area. I'm very grateful that those 2 people moved all the way from the East Coast to the West Coast. So in our sacrifice they pay is I'm so grateful. And they didn't come just join the West Coast to CARP area, just sitting around. They really worked so hard. So I'm very grateful, and I'm excited to hear the only report as well. Yeah, Gina, go first.
Hi everyone. Just looking at all the different things that are happening in different chapters is really exciting. A lot of things that I didn't even know was happening. So just letting you guys know what an opportunity is out there after GPA. And so I just wanted to share a brief testimony about my personal decision-making process and how I invited God into that process. And so I just finished 3 years of GPA last year, and I just finished spring competition. I know all of you guys just finished spring competition, so good job, guys. So I know that, like for me as well, after spring competition, I felt very, like almost on a high of a lot of victorious experiences, and to feel like, wow, like God has given me all these different experiences, but at the same time, I was also concerned about, okay, so where do I want to go after GPA? How am I going to continue having a relationship with God after GPA? So how many of you guys have thought about, what is going to be my next step, or what am I going to do after GPA? Has that crossed your mind yet? If not, maybe after this presentation. Yeah. So I had a lot of worries and concerns. Like I said, how am I going to continue living a life of faith with God, especially after He's given me so many blessings of 3 years, of so many people investing into me. I was also worried about school, like how am I gonna, invest into school and balancing a life of faith, and also my family as well. How many of you guys can say family, right? So it's awesome that they're coming here. So these are all different kind of concerns that I also had before going into the decision-making process. And so what I decided to do in order to make a decision was I set many series of conditions. Mainly it was like reflection conditions and prayer conditions. But literally I spent basically after Families Workshop all the way until the Madison Square Garden event, which is July 15th. So I hope it doesn't take that long for you guys. But I just wanted to share, my experience with it. So right after Families Workshop, I visited CARP Los Angeles and CARP Las Vegas. And I'm honestly really grateful to them for giving me so many incredible experiences, living at a center and witnessing and really being around brothers and sisters who have continued a life of faith and is thriving in their life of faith. And one thing that struck me while I was in those two different chapters was when I was having a call with Rosina, and she was telling me that, what our support structure looks like after GPA is actually more important than whether we decide to go to college or not right away. And so that really made me think, and because at first it was just like, it was hard to be humble to that, to say like, I need a support system, or I need a group of people who also connect to this vision. But it really took a lot of time for me to humble myself to that. And in my prayers, it would shift from just more of like an individual perspective to really trying to think about what does God need. And I just remember like a specific prayer where I would ask, God, where do you need me? And really trying to be open to what He has to say or what He has to share. And so there was many different experiences along the way, like even after graduating GPA, I was still in the decision-making process. I attended the Heal Jump workshop in New York, and then I went to the CARP Momentum Retreat, which many different CARP chapters shared about their experience as well. And it showed, again, a lot of people who is thriving in their life of faith while they're still in college. And so once I really came to make the decision, I realized that after all, God also has these concerns for my family, my relationship with Him. And He is also really thinking about how He wants to connect to me after GPA, not just while He's on GPA. And I really felt that through the different people that reached out to me, through the staff, and especially through where God has helped me to land at in the CARP chapter, which is in Bay Area. And I'm honestly really grateful to Kazuya-san, Aunt Christine, Uncle Marcus, who's the witnessing director there, for really surrounding me with people who share that common vision. And I feel like it really gave me a formula in a sense, because we had a central figure, we had friends of faith next to us, and then also people to invest into through witnessing. And so this is all in a sense like a formula for us to really grow and proceed in our life of faith. And so I just want to say, like, I'm really grateful to the older brothers and sisters who have really paved the way to have these different opportunities established that weren't here before. And I don't feel that I'm any special in any way to just listen to the calling, but it was really through all of these conditions that I said that I felt that I was able to allow God to guide me. And so I really hope that that can also be something that you guys can also experience as well, and really inviting God into your decision-making process. So just wanted to share that with all of you. Thank you so much. Erica to share her testimony.
Okay. So I think, do you guys know who Juja is though? Like he didn't really introduce himself, but he did 3 years of GPA, so last year was his 3rd year, and so also I did 3 years of GPA. So I was a captain my 2nd year, and then my 3rd year I led a group, and then the 2nd half I was a Chonoko missionary. So I went to Costa Rica. So that's a little bit of my history with GPA. And now, obviously, right, I'm in CARP, right, CARP Bay Area. So, I need to keep an eye on time because it just goes by. So, I guess I also too want to share a little bit about my decision process, and especially at this time, right? It's like you just finished competition. There are so many things that God showed you, but you're also in that time where it's like, oh, like I'm gonna go home. What's gonna happen, right? It's kind of this exciting but really nervous time, right? I remember feeling a lot of, I think every family has felt a lot of anxiety despite all the awesome things that were going on. But yeah, so I guess I'll first share how I ended my year and then how that came to my decision. So the last thing I did on my 3rd year was I was a Chonoko missionary. Since I was a 3rd year, I had no witnessing experience, but I was supposed to lead a missionary team. So that was a very interesting experience, getting to go. But to be really honest, I came back, after coming back from Costa Rica, I really felt, I didn't really experience victory. You know, it's that feeling like, right, if you have a condition and you didn't end the best way you could have, right, it sucks, right? It doesn't feel good. And that's how I felt. I really felt like, wow, maybe did I fail my mission? Was I not able to fulfill what God and parents wanted me to do in Costa Rica? I was taking care of members too at the same time as trying to reach out to guests, and I felt like all my members hated me, and they were all pissed off at me all the time, and things were rubbing each other the wrong way, and witnessing was really difficult for me. Personally, I'm speaking in public now, but in general, I'm like really an introvert. Like I don't like talking to people, and that's the opposite of witnessing, right? I have to talk to people. And so I was really struggling, even myself, to witness, and so leading a team, that was even more difficult. So I came back feeling kind of like a soldier who went to war but lost, and then came back, and everyone there is like congratulating you, but you feel like, yeah, you felt like you failed, you know? And so it was a really hard time for me, and especially because it was the end of my 3 years, and that's how I was ending. Like ending that way was really difficult, because it felt like I was losing all the blessings that God and my parents really showed me, and how much He loved me, all these amazing things. It was really hard to see in those times. I remember at the end we had a conclusion workshop, and we did this activity. I don't know if you guys will do it this year, but we had to do an oath where two parents' picture was here, and we had had to put our hand on the divine principle and give this oath, right? That I pledge to true parents, and then you have something you said that you pledged to do, right? That after GPA I pledge to continue my faith or whatever. Everyone had a different statement that they said. And that was such a hard activity for me. I remember having to think about what do I want to pledge, and at that time, I didn't feel worthy of God's love. I felt like, God doesn't need me. I felt all these really not so great things. And so I had to really pray a lot before I decided to do this pledge thing, because I wanted it to be sincere, I wanted it to be real, and I wanted it to be something that came from the heart, right? So I prayed a lot, and I had to go deep, like really deep, because there was a lot. I had to go really deep to realize that at the core of who I am, I still really love God and true parents so much. So I remember doing being able to at least do it, and feel like, yeah, I was able to do this pledge. But after the pledge didn't change anything, I still felt really crappy about how I ended my year. And so when I had to go to figure out what I was going to do next, honestly, I wanted to just lock myself in a room and not deal with anything anymore, right?